It's that time of year again. You know, annual winter gift-giving season, aka Christmas, my favorite time of year. Or, at least it was. It's past New Year's now, and keep the decorations. I like looking at them. It's past New Year's now, and this episode is out of season. But I'm going to talk about Christmas anyway. Don't worry, I'm going somewhere with this. If it was still the Christmas season, I would be trying to immerse myself into the holiday for optimal enjoyment. And what better way for me to do so than to bring out some classic holiday traditions? I partake in some common ones myself, like gaining weight, spending money, and pretending to put the corpse of a tree in my house. You see, I have a plastic tree. One of my favorite traditions, however, is to sit down with a nice snack and watch some Christmas specials. A handful of seasonal shows that I have fond memories of would be SpongeBob's Christmas Who, All of the Other Reindeer, The Charlie Brown Christmas, a classic, and Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer. That is just naming a few off the top of my pompadour, really. Barely scratching the surface, in fact. I have sifted through many specials in search of something new to add to my list of yearly staples. Also, please be aware that I use the term special to include both holiday shows and festive films. Throughout my journey, I have found specials that suck and specials that shine. What I want to talk about today is a unique breed of special that seems a bit unsure of its purpose. Like this video you are watching, these shows can't decide if they are exactly for Xmas because they suffer from an identity crisis. Starting up, we'll take a peek at what may be the most obvious example of a film struggling to find its true holiday, The Nightmare Before Christmas. I'll be brief since this movie has been talked about so much. Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King, is feeling melancholy and is hungry for more than the usual Halloween routine. He discovers a new holiday called Christmas one night and is enamored by the wonder of something new. He then hijacks the holiday for himself.
Ho, 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 ho! No.
Is this a Halloween movie in Christmas clothing or a Christmas movie that took a visit to the Spirit Halloween store? With the inclusion of visuals, themes, and mentions of both holidays extremely prevalent, it is difficult to pin down, but that is only because it so smoothly blends the atmospheres for each holiday. Some find this to be a more appropriate movie for Halloween and others lean towards Christmas, and some find it great for both. Personally, I tend to like it more as a Christmas movie that has a little pumpkin spice. Okay, now that we have the popular movie out of the way, let's talk about a forgettable episode from the popular show, The Simpsons. Unfortunately, it isn't as forgettable for me because I remember the disappointment from watching it. Season 18, Episode 9, Kill Gil Volumes 1 and 2. Despite the title, this is actually one half-baked episode. It features Gil, the eternally down-on-his-luck schmuck, being taken in by the Simpsons during Christmas after he loses his job as a mall Santa. He then proceeds to take advantage of their generosity and makes their house his very own. The episode starts out as a proper Christmas special. It's Christmas Eve and the Simpsons are spending an afternoon at the mall. There is also an act of holiday kindness by Gil. He offers Lisa the last Malibu Stacy in stock, which is why he loses his job actually.
Did you sell the Malibu Stacy set I put aside?
That was for you?
Everything seems well as he celebrates at the Simpsons' house, but then things quickly go off the rails once he settles in. The episode proceeds to go beyond Christmas, and I mean way beyond Christmas. Almost a year. Marge can't bring herself to kick out the mooch. He keeps guilting her. Homer doesn't do anything either. Why?
Well, you can't kick him out, because then Marge will never learn to assert herself.
It's tissue-thin reasoning. I'm not a fan of this one. I don't like the humor, especially this running gag with Homer fighting the Grumble, a Grinch-like creature.
What the hell is this thing?
I don't like Gil, and I don't like how forced the plot is. The heavy Gil-centric plot and abandonment of Christmas for other holidays like Valentine's and St. Patrick's Day quickly drains any zest. Unlike The Nightmare Before Christmas, this Simpsons episode's identity crisis didn't work in its favor. But also, it was just an underwhelming episode of The Simpsons as a whole. After viewing this, you will be left with the same feeling you get after seeing your tree's dead husk in early January.
Oh, come on!
Alright, now that The Simpsons have failed me, let's see how Phineas and Ferb will let me down. Season 3, Episode 14, A Phineas and Ferb Family Christmas. It's the middle of the summer. It's not looking good, guys. And Phineas and Ferb want to have a traditional family Christmas special.
I was thinking of a traditional family Christmas special.
Phineas, please don't try to steal my thunder. Wow, it's like the opposite of the Simpsons episode. It starts in summer, but less than a minute later, we are in full Christmas mode. We have guest stars,
It's famous singer Kelly Clarkson.
Christmas songs,
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
decor, snow, probably fake, and the oldest Christmas trope. Fruitcakes. The bits of the episode that remind you that it is in fact summer follow Dr. Doofenshmirtz in his antics. He appears to be equally confused about the Christmas special he is watching in midsummer.
Wait, what's going on here? Is it Christmas already? What happened to fall?
Strange how a single 12-minute episode that takes place in summer is crammed with more Xmas excellence than a 20-minute Simpsons Christmas special. That is the power of appropriate theming. I would love to praise Phineas and Ferb further, but there isn't much to say because it is a musical and goes from song to song in its short runtime. Overall, it is simple and sweet. This one almost feels like a cheat entry considering how hard it leans into the Christmas theming. Alright, loungers, let's take a look at the final item on the list. When Kevin's violent antics in Home Alone aren't doing it for me, I turn to the Home Alone for adults. And no, I'm not talking about some strange triple Xmas flick like Hole-A-Moan or Home Alone, an instructional video in self-pleasure. I'm talking about Die Hard. During Christmas Eve, hardened cop John McClane set out to LA to reconcile with his estranged wife Holly.
It's okay, I'm a cop.
Later on at her office Christmas party, things go south when terrorists take over the building, but McClane doesn't much like terrorists, so he takes the situation into his own hands. Alright, so what we have here is a film taking place during Christmas Eve.
Merry Christmas!
At a Christmas party. He's going to see his wife named Holly. Okay, I know, it's just the name of his wife, but still, it's kind of interesting how it fits with the theme. Anyway, we got plenty of Christmassy visuals, Christmas music, 3 songs actually, Winter Wonderland, Christmas in Hollis, Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow, and if this counts, McClane whistles Jingle Bells at one point. Though the most important thing this movie has is a Christmas miracle. You know, because he saves the day. If that isn't a miracle, I don't know what is.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
I can't move on without briefly touching upon the controversy behind the categorization of this movie. It is an argument as old as time. Well, if time was as old as Die Hard. So here's the question. Is it a Christmas movie or not? Many, if not most, believe that this is merely a movie that takes place at Christmas. Just because it passes my personal Christmas litmus test doesn't change what other people think. This poll from The Morning Consultant, a business intelligence company, found these jarring results. Of 2,200 people, 62% believe it is not a Christmas movie. That's a lot of red, guys. It appears the younger crowd tends to think of it as a Christmas movie, and that may have to do with the older crowd considering your average special a bit more family-friendly, merry, and probably not having any murder in it. What do our friends from across the pond think? Another poll, this one from YouGov, a British-based data analytics platform that has plenty of polls, says that 50% of the over 5,000 participants do not count movies taking place during Christmas that are not about the holiday as Christmas movies at all. Now, this poll doesn't mention Die Hard specifically, but we can guess what they're trying to talk about. Also, what is this? I don't know? Why is that even an option? That is the option included for people who want to feel involved, but just don't think for themselves. At least label it I don't care. That's what it really means. Beyond the polls, there's still plenty of reason the movie could fall in either one of the camps. Let's take a look at this. Die Hard premiered July 12, 1988, and was later released to a wider audience on July 15, 1988. Did you hear that? July. It was a summer blockbuster despite its Christmassy coat of paint. Many argue that if this coat of paint were to be stripped, that you will get the same movie with nothing but the aesthetics changing. Swap some of the songs for something less festive and also get rid of the Christmas party. Perhaps have it be an office birthday party or retirement party. It certainly would make Hans Gruber and his men seem even more villainous when they shoot Joe the day before his retirement. Drama. Also, I'm aware the movie was based on the book Nothing Lasts Forever by Roderick Thorpe, and that it does take place during Christmas Eve in the book. The reasoning behind this was to have a convenient excuse as to why the large building would be mostly empty.
The party. They're the only ones left in the building.
Considering this, still, I find it interesting that its holly jolly setting was kept in when it could have been nixed for something more summer appropriate. People must have gone into shock when they exited the theater and saw it was the middle of summer. Was there any intent to have this be a Christmas movie in the first place? According to this article from the Washington Post, quote, Stephen E. D'Souza, the film's screenwriter, is firmly in the Die Hard as a Christmas movie camp. He told the Washington Post's Alex Horton that the film's producer Joel Silver had predicted the movie would get played at Christmas time for years. I question if these thoughts were actually formed before the release of the movie or finalized after the hot debate. There is no possible way to know this, but it seems they have at least found out what side they are on. Bruce Willis also seems to have found what side he's on too. You know, the guy who is also this guy.
It's okay, I'm a cop.
These are his thoughts. Quote taken from the same article. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. It's a GD Bruce Willis movie, he said in July. Such passion. I wonder what GD stands for. Probably good dog. Well, of course he would be opposed to that train of thought. He wants people to view it as a good dog Bruce Willis movie. If I starred in a movie, I too would like people to call it a good dog Remy movie. Me thinks he is just a little salty after being upstaged by Christmas. Also, what better time to say that than in July, the month that opposes December most? As you can see, there's much division even amongst the people who worked on the movie itself. Maybe 20th Century Fox can clear this up for us.
He just wants to spend Christmas with the family. Get ready to jingle some bells and deck the halls together in the greatest Christmas story ever told. Die Hard.
Wow. I'm sure they just say that for advertising purposes, so let's not give that too much credit. But still, that trailer plays like a full-on Christmas spectacular. Though, they do re-release this movie in theaters every year just to make some quick bucks, and well, it sells. For many, it has become a tradition. It's no less a Christmas special than How the Grinch Stole Christmas or The Year Without a Santa Claus, and that's cool. For those people, this is a full-on Christmas flick, and they enjoy it for the merry massacre that it is. Personally, I enjoyed at Christmas time too. I do believe it suffers from the biggest identity crisis myth that I have seen, but I think that makes it even more interesting. Every year people discuss the true identity of the movie, and it is really fun to hear all the thoughts behind it. Part of the enjoyment of this movie, for me at least, is the conversation. I want to thank you for watching up until this point. This is still a very new channel, and I am working very hard to improve the content. If you enjoyed anything in this video, please consider liking, subscribing, or leaving a comment below, and I hope to see you return to the Rerun Lounge. I hope your holidays were happy and you had a wonderful new year.